Assalamu alaikum, program Perspectives, and I'm your host, Morai. Viewers, we discuss in depth a subject or a topic from various perspectives. As usual, Syed Mohibullah Shah Sahab, an intellectual and a writer, is with us. Shah Sahab, Assalamu alaikum. Shah Sahab, today's subject is incomplete independence. And my first question should be, what is meant by independence? And why our independence is still incomplete even after a lapse of over 76 years?
Well, Morai sir, it's a very...
Is it properly thrown?
It's a very, very tough question and of course very important question too.
But it is need of the hour for the Pakistani people, for our country, to understand this and to know about
Yes,
it.
I think you're right. This is it's very important for people to understand. Okay, so let us ask ourselves, why do countries want to become independent? What is the purpose of becoming an independent country? And what are the characteristics of a sovereign independent country? Basically, we must understand what independence means. Now, if we look back at history, let's say Pakistan or India or Malaysia or Indonesia or many other countries, Burma or in Africa or South America, they were under foreign colonial domination, either British or a French or a Dutch or a Spain or others. And there was a struggle for independence. For independence, people struggled. Somewhere they struggled very peacefully, like here in India. Somewhere they went through some lot of suffering. Look at Vietnam. There was a huge war to be fought with the French before Vietnam became independent. Or Algeria. There was a bitter fight of Algerians with the French, who did not want to leave the colonial control. And many people died, suffered immensely in every way. So why is that people want to have independence, for which they are willing to sacrifice their lives, their properties, and they suffer so much? There must be something. Why do they want independence? What is the purpose? Okay. So now this is the moot point which we want to explain. It's the purpose of independence. If we look at the struggle of different countries, why they wanted to become, if it is, as we all know here in Pakistan or in India, the British were here for nearly 200 years. In some way you could see that it was the British who introduced the railway in India and Pakistan. They were the ones who introduced the irrigation system, telegraphs and telephone system. So there was some kind of infrastructure, metal roads, bridges. So why people still wanted independence? Is that not sufficient? That, you can drive through, you can have schools, you can have irrigation systems and all. Why is it that they still want to get independence for which they want to suffer? People in India and Pakistan, many of them suffered jail, imprisonment. Some suffered even their lives. So the purpose of independence is that the human beings want to live in dignity. They want to live in equality, in respect, where their life, their liberty, their dignity is protected. It is not tampered with, it is not exploited, they are not treated like subjects or serfs or slaves. That is why people are willing to give their lives and suffer so much, because they want to live a life in which their liberty, their equality, their equal opportunities, their dignity is protected and they are treated as equal citizens. There is nobody who is superior and somebody who is inferior. If it was a colonial system, let us say before 1947, the British or the colonial masters were superior to the people of India and Pakistan. And they controlled the policy and they controlled the resources. If you look back at history, this background is very essential, as I said, because people should understand why people suffer, why they give their lives, why they go through so much difficulty. What is so precious about independence? Look at the example. We were talking about that during the British days, there were railways, there were irrigation systems, and there were telephones and telegraphs and other acts of development. But in 200 years, from 1757, when the East India Company first acquired control over Bengal and became the rulers of Bengal, and Siraj-ud-Dawla was defeated, from then up to 1947, this is a period of 190 years.
Yes.
Very long. Okay. So if foreign colonialism was so beneficial that they made roads, irrigation systems, telephone, telegraphs, railways, what? India should have prospered. But in 1757, the first time when the East India Company became a ruler, at that time, 25% of the wealth of the world was generated from India. 190 years after the British rule in 1947, with those roads and the highways and the irrigation system and the railways and this development and that, instead of prospering, developing, India from 25%, at that time India included Pakistan also, from 25%,
Undivided India.
From 25% in 1947, again collectively, it was not able to contribute more than 5% of wealth of the world. From 25%, it has been reduced. It was made poor, pauper, and dependent. So, what it means is when you are not independent, when you are under the colonial rule. Again, we'll talk about colonial, can be foreign, can be local, native also. So when you are under colonial rule, the history tells us that you become poorer. You become poorer. Even though we can say, okay, there was a railway, irrigation system, this, that, road, etc. But you take a lot. Why is it? That's something that we will talk about also. Okay. But the point is that the lack of independence means lack of dignity, lack of equality, lack of equal opportunities, and having a rule imposed over you in which you have no consent. When viceroys of British rulers were there, nobody asked people of India that whether you want this governor or this viceroy or this person, none. They imposed themselves because they were the rulers. So now we are coming to the point to specify certain purposes of independence. Why people give so much sacrifice? Well, because dignity is very precious to human beings. Equality is very precious to them. Equal opportunity is very precious to human beings. Having a government chosen by yourself and not imposed by others is also very important to human beings. And we have seen from history, like example of Indian subcontinent that I gave, that when you're under a colonial rule, over a period of time, instead of prospering, you become poor. So now these are the things which lack of independence means, lack of all of these things. Okay. So independence is not to have discriminations, to protect dignity, to protect liberties, to protect equality, to have government of your own choice. Because if you have these, only then your dignity, your life, your liberty, and your prosperity can happen and it can be protected.
Let's meet after the break. Welcome back. Shah Sahab, you have explained about the factors according to which we define the independence. Now, how do you explain to our viewers that how far these factors which you have explained have been achieved so far during the last 76 years?
Okay, what is up now? Okay, now how far the objectives, these have been achieved. Now, let us say during the Mughal period, India was independent. Whether it was Akbar or Shah Jahan or Aurangzeb, they were independent. This was a powerful country. Were the people independent? The country was independent. Akbar Azam or Shah Jahan or they were not colonized by anybody. So the country was independent. Did the people enjoy these fruits of independence that we were talking? Did the people enjoy liberty, security and protection of life? Did the people enjoy the equality? Did people enjoy the equal opportunities? Did people have the right to choose their government? Was the dignity of the people protected? All these questions, as we said in the first part, these are the purposes of independence. So what we find is, I give this example to make the difference between the two things. A country can be independent, but people may not be independent. This is the example. Mughal India. Akbar Azam, nobody was above him.
But can we call that also a colonization of India, because they were not the indigenous people, they were outsiders. Can we call that also a colonization?
Gee?
Can we call that period also a period of colonization?
No, because some people think so, but they became part of India.
Okay.
If they had come and ruled and then gone, then we could say yes, they only came to exploit. They only came to take money or resources and go away. Here, they worked here, they lived here, they died here, and they worked to create wealth in India. Taj Mahal was built by the Mughals. Red Fort of India was built by them. The fort in Agra was built by them. And the revenues laws and the agriculture and the irrigation system, however, that was built by them and they lived here.
Yes, and
So
they
in
died
that
here.
way, you see, everybody, in that way, if we go back to the time of Indus Valley civilization, 5,000 years ago, there are many people, Aryans came. They were different people who have come and settled down. You look at the Pakistanis. Most of the Pakistanis, they came from outside. There may be 20 or 30% who may be original inhabitants from the days of the Mohenjo-daro. But 70% or so will be those who have come over the centuries, have been absorbed, they have accepted this land, and they work, struggle, and die for this land. They are as much, they have right as so the Mughals had as much right as anybody else because they owned the land, they lived there, they died there.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so what we are saying is that a country can be independent, but the people may not be independent. Now, in 1947, the state of Pakistan became independent. Did the people of Pakistan become independent also? That is the question people should ask. We have said the criteria. The criteria is that your life, liberty, protection, they should be protected. Your equality, equal opportunity, your dignity, government chosen by your own people, not imposed upon you. All these things, when you look around, the state of Pakistan, new country came into existence. The state of Pakistan became independent. But did the people of Pakistan also enjoy the fruits of independence? Was their life, liberty, protection, equality, equal opportunities, government chosen by them? They were announcements by politicians, by government leaders, that yes, this is the purpose. But these things are not done by statements of this politician or this governor or this prime minister or this president or that leader. No. How do your right to property or your right to life, your right to equality, right to dignity, right to due process, right to equality, right to equal opportunity, where do they come from? Not by the word of mouth from somebody. Some governor or president or prime minister says so. No. Your right comes from laws. It is the law from which you take your rights. And your constitution is the most fundamental law. So your rights to anything, your right to life, your right to liberty, to right to due process, right to dignity, right to equality, right to equal opportunity, right to choose your own government. All these rights come from the law. It is the law which gives you the right. If there is no law, there is no right. Whatever the statement of governor or president or prime minister. See? So the law gives the rights to the people.
But in this country, we have witnessed that some rulers say, what is law? Law is nothing. What is constitution? Constitution is nothing. It's a piece of paper. We can turn it out.
Which means then there is absence of independence. Okay? And as I see, fundamental law is the Constitution. So your rights are enshrined in the Constitution and in other laws. So if you don't have a Constitution, then your laws are not protected, they are not enshrined, even though some powerful man, minister or prime minister or governor or a president may say so, but that does not mean anything. Somebody else says one thing, another person says another thing, third person says, as you said, it is the law and the constitution which gives the rights. Now, in Pakistan, the constitution was not framed for many years, which means the law, the law or the constitution which was working in Pakistan, in the new state, was the law of 1935, Indian Act. But the Indian Act did not give independence, fruits of independence to the people, because that was meant for running a colony. So the point is, as you said, first we want to make this clear. A country or a state can be independent, but the people may not be independent if they don't enjoy the fruits of the rights of independence. And the rights to them, right comes to them from laws and the constitution. If the constitution and the laws are not continuous, are not protected, then your rights are not protected. Then your fruits of independence do not accrue to you. Now, Pakistan's history tells us that there have been only some periods when there has been a constitution. Whether it is fully implemented or not implemented is yet another matter.
But for a very short while.
For a very short while, true. Now, what has been the effect of that? By not having a continuous constitution, what has been the effect of it? Which means people have chosen to have rules and the laws which protect their particular interest, not the interest of the people. Because whoever is in authority makes or dictates or says, okay, this is what will happen, because there is nothing above him. He is not subject to the law. He is not subject to the constitution. So, for independence of people, for them to enjoy the fruits of independence, it is very important that there should be continuity in the document or the source which gives you the right. The source of having rights is not the mouth of a president or a prime minister. The source of enjoying the rights is your law and the constitution. And if that is not a continuing thing, then your fruits of independence, whether your life, liberty, or dignity, or equality, then these are not protected. Which means that main thing is to have source of your rights protected if you want the fruits of independence to come to you.
Or otherwise we can say that we are responsible ourselves, that we have not followed those characteristics and objectives which you have explained. Is it okay?
That's okay.
Let's meet after the break. Welcome back. Shah Sahab, very wisely elaborated the purpose or the meaning of incomplete independence. Now, what measures you suggest that the people of Pakistan or the government of Pakistan should take so that the people of Pakistan can enjoy the fruits of independence?
Okay, now, as we were talking about that fruits of independence can be enjoyed by people if their rights, the whole set of rights, are protected. Rights for which they struggle for independence. And those rights provide the fruits. If those rights are protected, the consequence, the output of that will be that they will enjoy the fruits of independence, life, liberty, dignity, equality, and prosperity. Now, we talked about that the the source of rights. But source of rights is the law and the constitution. So the main thing, answer to your question will be, how can these be protected? The answer to that in simple words, and we'll explain it also, the answer to that question in very simple words will be, protect the source. If people fight for independence in order to enjoy those rights, we listed those rights. And we said those rights come from where? From the law and the constitution. That is the source. The British laws, 1935 Act or 1919 Act, they were the laws also. They did not give fruits of independence to the people because India was a colony. So you have to have a different constitutional laws which incorporates the rights of people so that they can enjoy. Okay. So we say the source of prosperity is from the rights. Okay.
Would you suggest that the new constitution should be formed and placed in order?
Okay.
Because the constitution which was made by the assembly, 1973 assembly, has more or less got so many amendments, and it has been reshaped from its original form. So because now, since we are in the last episode of this program, so what this is also part of the...
Okay. Let us, your question, let's put it in this way. What you're saying is that the constitution of the fundamental law, which enshrines the rights of people, it has not been obeyed or abided by generally. Mostly it has been violated or abrogated or bypassed. Now that you really come to the moot point, to the main point. Now, who protects the constitution? You talked about a new. Okay, let's have a new constitution. Who will protect that? The first constitution was made after breakup of the country, unfortunately. And it has not been protected. There are reasons why it has not been protected, no? If we make, supposing, second constitution, the reasons for which first constitution was not protected, do those reasons still exist? If the same conditions exist, then the second will also not be protected. What is the guarantee? What is the assurance that the second or a third will be protected? So who is the protector of constitution? Not the assembly.
There are people that don't have that power to protect that constitution.
Not the assembly, not the courts, with all due respect to them. The ultimate protector of constitution are the people of Pakistan, are the people of France, are the people of India, are the people of America. Ultimate protector are the people of that country. Now, if people are weak and if they are disempowered, can they protect? If the people can't protect themselves, can they protect the constitution? So you need to empower people. It is only empowered people who can protect the source of their rights. Nobody can tamper, let us say, with the Constitution of the United States, for instance, or in many other countries for that matter. Why? Because the ultimate protector of Constitution are the people, and they are empowered. They are empowered over a period of time by certain rights which cannot be taken away. This is why the difference between the laws made by colonial power and the laws made by people, the difference The difference is that when people make the law, they put limits on the state. That, okay, people give, who gives the power to the state? Nobody gives the power. It's the people who give power to the state. When the US, for instance, when the United States framed a constitution, their Congress, 1776, 1770s, then they decided in the Congress, okay, we want to create a new state, we want to have a constitution under which we will all work. Now, this is the power we are giving to the government, the state. These are the rights we keep for ourselves. We don't give every power to the government. We are sharing. Some powers we give to the government, some powers we keep ourselves. Sharing about, because people create the state, so they give some powers to the state, not all, and keep some rights and powers to themselves. State cannot interfere. This is when people make the constitution. Okay. Now, this happened even in Europe. I gave an example of the United States because it was a new country. But when you talk of Europe, this was monarchies, like in Mughal empires. There were French monarchy, king in Germany or England or Belgium or other places. Okay. But people didn't have any rights. So you will see that in almost every European country there were changes. Some changes were peaceful. Some changes were very difficult, revolutions. Why? Because the old system was like we had here, Mughal India. Whether it was a French king or a British king or an Indian king, Mongolia. They were all the same, all powerful. People had no right, neither here, nor in France, nor in Europe. Then the whole system changed. The new reforms came. And then people said, sorry sir, you can't be all powerful. You have some power, otherwise we'll topple you down. That's the French Revolution. You cannot be all powerful and we will just be subjects and slaves, so you better share power with us. In England, the power was shared through peaceful means, through reforms. In France, it was not. In Russia, it was not. In China, it was not. In Japan, it was yes, through peaceful means. In Pakistan, there has been, you see, the empowerment of people, the struggle. The empowerment of people is very essential in order for the state to control its risks. But if people are disempowered, if they have no power, then the state and its front, which is a government, becomes all powerful. So in some countries, there have been revolutions. Some countries, there have been reforms. In Pakistan, this struggle continues.
And there is a prescription for all this in your book, titled
Struggle between state and society.
that is that there are the answer lies there. Answers lies there. Yes.
The struggle. So this struggle, a society here in Pakistan is continually struggling that please recognize our rights, that we have a right to life and dignity and equality and equal opportunities like other human beings, civilized, respect, dignity. Don't take all our rights and keep it to yourself, whether state or government. Don't be all powerful like in other countries. So we hope that this struggle between the state and society, there will be some recognition for the good of Pakistan as a country, for the good of the people of Pakistan, that the state will submit to the will of the people and allow this empowerment of people so that they can enjoy fruits of independence. It is not just the state of Pakistan, which is independent, but the people of Pakistan should also enjoy the fruits of independence. And that will happen when you empower the people and divide the power between state and the people, and not have absolute power given only to state and keeping the people disempowered. Disempowered people can never enjoy the fruits of independence. That is why our topic of the discussion today, the independence is incomplete until the people of Pakistan also enjoy all the fruits of independence for which people have struggled everywhere in the world.
Thank you, Shah Sahab. Viewers, you can read the book, A Struggle Between Society and State, written by Syed Mohibullah Shah Sahab. And you can also watch this program on every Thursday after 7 p.m. news, same night, 12 midnight, and next day, 2 p.m. after news. Goodbye.